Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today is one of those days of the week where we try and find different words for the name big, massive, gargantuan, enormous, because we're going to be building stages 14 to not 18 of the Deagostini Collectibles release. I build the 1/6 scale Mustang. Now, you've seen me build a 1/8 scale on the channel before, but, you know, look at the size of the door. It's just ridiculous. And the reason I've got the door up is because, obviously, if we've got one door, we need to make another door, and that means that's what we're going to be doing today. But in this one, I did get a mug, which I haven't actually looked at yet, because Mrs. World of Wayne won't let me have mugs in the house anymore because I've got so many of them. But this one is looking like this. I do like the racing green that it is. But there you go. That's the mug. I won't be keeping this. So, I know what's going to happen. People in the comments are going to say, can I have it? Can I have it? I'll probably auction it off to the Patreons tonight or something and just do a random, someone's going to get a Mustang mug. So we'll see how that goes. I'll put that over there. If you want to get this for yourself, I think this has just become available again. The link is in the video description and there is also a QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So, stage 14, here's the magazine. And we are doing the right door this time. Loads of little tiny bits to add to this. Now, we have done this last time, so we should be a dab hand here, including the locking mechanism there. I probably will be using my Partwork upgrade mat to make sure that this doesn't get scratched as well. And as you can see, everything's in this little vacuum pack here. Let me get this open. And there you go, there's everything in the box there. So, what I need, let's take this door out first. And you know what, just because it's the door today, I'm going to use this lovely orange mat that, again, Partwork Upgrade sent me to keep that on rather than bring up the whole massive mat. Okay, I'm going to be putting the door barrel in first. Even though this is a massive car, I am having to use my magnifying glasses for this. Now, it is a little D-shaped pattern, so it can only go in one way. But we're holding that in with one of these PS12 screws. So it's just going into that hole there, and that will hold that barrel in place. Put this whole door to one side, and the mat, because I need to make the wing mirror. You can see how oversized these parts are. It's really good. Now we have got a shaped section here again, which is just going to go on here like that. We want the larger side of the wing mirror to be up the top. And this time I want a PS09 screw to hold that in. And it's actually held in through. It's actually held in through that centre hole there. So let's get that nice and tight. Excellent, that's in position. What I've got to do then is take the glazing for this. And as you can see, it has got some plastic on it. I'm going to try and keep the plastic over the top of it. It is just a push in. And there you go, that's in, and I've still got the plastic on it, so I'm not going to take that off. That will protect that mirror there. Let's put the mat down again, and the door, because we need to put the handle on there. And that's going to go on this way here, into the position that you can see just there. And once again, it's going to be a PS09 screw from the other side to hold this in, just into that top position there. Let's get that in nice and tight. Matter of fact, I'm going to use my thicker screwdriver. And when that's in, looking like that, I then get to put the wing mirror into position. So it's just going to go into the slot at the top there. And then once I put it in, turn it over, you can see it's fitting into the two metal points just there. This time we need some metal screws, which are DS13 screws. Tiny screws, but they are going into metal. They are a different thread. I know, I have trouble saying my F's and my TH's. Through and through. I blame my Essex accent. Okay, so there we go. That's the wing mirror in place like that. I've got an inner lock flange to put in now. And we do need to make sure this goes the right way round, because this set aside here is higher than the other one. So that when it's on there, will actually look like it's fitting in straight. Again, I'm using those metal screws for this. These are the DS13 ones. That's one, and that one's two. Now I've got the door release button, which I'm going to be dropping in this hole here. Probably best on the top camera, so you can see that the side of this is actually pointing inwards there. Make the locking mechanism by just putting the spring over that section there. And then I want to, probably best on the top camera, push this now into this section here. And again, I'm going to show you on the top camera. Hopefully this will show you. So we've got the spring in there. The plastic section that's coming from this locking mechanism is in this metal channel next to the door lock that I put in. And the short section is just sitting in that groove just there. All I've got to do then is just put this cap on to stop anything moving, which fits over the top just like that. And you've guessed it, it's one of the metal DS13 screws to hold that into place. So now again, I'm going to show you on the close-up. When I push the button in, you see that moves. But that is all there is to do in that stage. So stage 15. Here's the magazine. We're going to be doing the inner door trim now and adding some stuff to that trim. The chrome little details there. Not a lot to do in this stage by the look of it. And this is the rest of the magazine. Now I've built a few Mustangs on the channel, and I'll tell you the draw for this build is just how big all the parts are. It does make going back to doing 1.8 cars quite it makes them look like miniatures. But there we go. There's the inner door trim. It's already got the lock on there. And the first thing I'm going to do is just take this chrome bit of trim, and that's just going to go into the holes around the side there. So it's sitting in like that. Now once again, I need these tiny PS12 screws, because I am going to want to hold that into these little holes just on the back. And there's 4 of these. So 2 here, 2 here. Now these are really tiny screws going into plastic, so you really don't want to put them in tight, just enough to hold that trim into place. Let's keep that to one side because we're just going to sort out the handle mechanism now. The challenge here is to actually get the thing out of the... It's been vacuum sealed around it, so it is quite difficult to actually get this out. There you go, we got it. So I have zoomed up the top camera because what we're going to do is to take this handle, it's going to go in here just like that. It's going to be held in with a flange screw. So this is a PS11 flange screw going in here. So that enables that to sit in there but have operation, as you can see. And then I want to put this whole section inside here, so it's just a case of taking the handle, putting it through the smaller hole there like that, so it can just fit on there. Now to hold that into place, I'm using the screws we haven't used, PS05. That's 1. And that one's 2. And as you can see, we've got the handle in there now like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 16, here's the magazine. Still working on the door. We've got some glazing to put in, so we've got the quarter light and the main window, which is just going like this. It looks like we're only putting the quarter light in. We're not putting the main window in on this one. So again, this is going to be a really quick stage. Now, all the windows do go up and down on this build. As you can see, massive pieces of glazing on this. Right. Once again, I'm going to bring over this mat and the door. And then on this interior panel just here, I've got this felt material. And the reason that I'm putting felt material here is that if I don't, the glazing is going to scratch on this metal. So get this lined up and just put it so it's actually touching the top edge here. Just like that. Then take the quarter light section of window looking like this. That's going to go in here. Perfect. Held in with these DS02 screws. Perfect. And that's in. And with these parts that we're not actually using, this one and this one, we're not using in this stage, that is all there is to do at the end of this stage. So I'm guessing it's all about the window mechanism now for stage 17. Here's the magazine. And as you can see, we've got the cogs and gears. We've also got the hinge as well. Putting all this in place onto the door. We're also putting the window in. So we are doing the full window mechanism here. And this is the rest of the magazine. And this is everything in the pack here. Let me get all this open. So we're going to put the hinge in first. So if I have the hinge this way round, it's going to just sit into the position there. So it's able to go up just like that. I want to hold that into place with this metal stay, if you like, which is going to go over the top. And I'm screwing that in with a DS02 screw. Make sure that's in tight. And that will keep that nice and firm, that door. Then got this section here, which is the internal window guide. We've got a hole here and 2 lugs. These 2 lugs here are going into these 2 holes here. So it's just a case of lining them up and getting it into place there. That's not the easiest thing to put in. Once again, a DS02 screw in here to keep that down. When I'm pushing these down, I am just lifting it a little bit because I don't want this wing mirror to come off. So it's gear time now. So I want to take this long gear with a stalk here. That's going to go just onto that side there, this way round. Then I'm going to take this gear, which has got a lip, and we want this lip to face down, which is going next to it. So that's going to hold them 2 together. And finally, this small cog with this section facing you now, facing down. So it's this side facing up. It's going to go next to that one there. So I need to keep all of these into place. So I've got these DS04 flange screws, which are just going to go into the tops here. And that'll keep the gears into place. So one for the small one for the big one here, and lay down the shaft of this one here, and that'll get that one in. Now as long as they're in tight, they won't wobble around, but what I'm more interested in is that they are able to turn just like that. Show you on the top camera, looking good. All it is then is just a case of taking the glazing here and putting that into position to make sure that these gears here are onto that rack just like that, and then I'm holding that in with this stay here, which is going to go over the top, and that's going to keep that into position. So if I keep that in place, you can see how that's going to operate just like that. Excellent. I do need to hold this one down though. Once again, that's a DS02 screw just into the hole there, and then just one of the flanged PS05 screws just going through this hole here. So once again, I'm just going to check that's working. Lovely and smooth. That's all there is to do in that stage. So I guess we're going to be finishing the door. This whole pack was dedicated to that door because we've got the last of the trim panels to put on now. And we've also got the winding mechanism for the window. Putting that in. So as you can see, we do have a finished door. And this is the rest of the magazine. Excellent. So here's all the trim panels. I'll get that open. And this time I'm going to bring up the interior section. I want it this way round, because I'm going to be putting the bottom trim on first. That's just going to go in there. And I've got these massive PS25 screws to hold this in. Just held in from the other side here. So one there and one there. Bring over the door with the mechanism, because now I'm going to be piecing both of these parts together. So if you just line up where the window winding mechanism is going to go, everything else slips into place just like that. Our old favourite, the DS02 screws now. They're going into these 2 holes here. So one here and one on the other side just over here. That's perfect. Open the winding mechanism for the window, and I have got a knob to put on the end of that winding mechanism. So this is going to go in there like that, but I am going to need to screw these 2 parts together with one of the PS07 screws. We are meant to do that right at the very start of this stage, but you know me, I've done things out of order. But when that's in, it should look like that. Then this has got a keyhole pattern on it, so it's just going to be pushed into that section just there. And that will enable us now, as you can see, to make it down and bring it up. All we've got then left to do is put this last bit of trim in to hide the hole. So when we put this in, we do want to just lift this handle up so we can actually get this down here. I'm going to move the winding mechanism as well, just to make things a little bit easier to get that in. 1, 2, and then it's just a case of clipping in the tops. 1 and 2. Make sure that's flush in there. Wind the window back up. And there you go. I'm just going to polish up my grubby fingerprints. And there we go. That's the inner trim done, and that's another door completed. So as you can see, we've now done 2 massive doors. And I do mean absolutely massive. Look, they're bigger than my head. Just the door of this car. God knows what the bodywork's going to look like for this. But I will put these in the box till next time. Where I'm no idea what we're going to be working on. Just looking about with the parts we got here. Let me show you actually. We had already done this section of the front. Again, massive. We had done one of the seats, looking like that. And the top of the engine here, which was just a block that we haven't really done much with. And here are 2 of the wheels, which make good earrings. But there you go. That's all there is to do in that stage. I really do hope you liked the video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.